What's going on, everyone? Mr. Octagonal here. Now today we are conducting an experiment here on Madden 20 as we're going to see what Madden thinks will happen here in the 2019 season. Super Bowl, standings, awards, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get right on into it. I'm using the Giants because I don't really think they'll go far. As you can see, they do not make the playoffs. There's a look at the NFC East standings, but we're going to go for all the standings now, division by division. So the Baltimore Ravens go 11-5. They get a first-round bye. Browns only at 8-8. None of the other teams make the playoffs. Colts go 10-6. They're the only ones in the AFC South to make the playoffs. Patriots only go 9-7, and that only lets them get in the playoffs by one game, as the Bills were 8-8. So New England is lucky. And then the AFC West is three playoff teams: Chargers winning the division, Chiefs and Raiders as wild card. On to the NFC North, my Detroit Lions win the division. That is something else. The Bears finished dead last at 6-9-1, giggity. On to the NFC South. Saints won 11 games, which is the best record in all of the NFL, so that's sort of weird. Falcons also in the playoffs. Redskins win the NFC East at only 8-8. Cowboys also win 8 games. Eagles win only 6. Seattle wins the NFC West at 11-5. Rams go 9-7. Niners also go 9-7, but the Rams make the playoffs instead of San Francisco. So the Ravens are the 1 seed. Chargers are 2. Colts 3. Patriots 4. Chiefs 5. Raiders 6. And then in the NFC, Saints 1. Seahawks 2. We got the Lions 3. The Redskins are 4. Falcons 5. And Rams 6. And then here's a look at all the worst teams in the NFL, I guess, for draft order. Broncos end up with the number 1 overall pick, so I guess will they stick with Drew Lock, or will they go for one of the rookie quarterbacks like Tua? So here's a look at all the stats, all of the passing yards. Passing touchdowns went to Andrew Luck, the MVP, who almost had 5,000 passing yards. He was about 4,400 off. Most interceptions was Drew Lock. Joe Flacco with 18. Drew Brees was pretty high up there. That's sort of a surprise. Wouldn't expect to see Brees up there. And then completion percentage for starters, that goes to Drew Brees and Andrew Luck with 69 giggity. So, on now to the rushing stats once we go through all of the completion percentages. Now, guys, into the 50s. And I don't think we have any starters that, lower than 50. QB rating does go to Andrew Luck at 112.7. So I would assume I went on to running stats now. Here we go. So most rushing yards was Ezekiel Elliott, almost 1,900. Todd Gurley in 2nd. Mark Ingram in 3rd. Adrian Peterson in 5th. We passed Kerryon. He had over 1,100, so that's cool. Most yards per carry among starters was Zeke with 5.8. Todd Gurley also over 5. Touchdowns was James Conner with 17, Zeke 16, Devontae Freeman 15, Kerryon 14. You know I like to see that. On to receiving. Most yards went to Golden Tate. Most receptions went to Benjamin Watson, 2 names I wouldn't expect to see there. Obviously, Golden Tate led in yards because this game loves slot receivers, and I don't get it. Madden needs to fix their simulation when it comes to receivers. D.D. Westbrook, Albert Wilson, Julian Edelman, Willie Snead, all in the top 6 for yards. They're all slot receivers. Michael Thomas finally made exception. Receiving touchdowns went to Golden Tate, John Brown, and Chester Rogers with 12. If you were to tell me who will lead the NFL in touchdown receptions, those are not the 3 names I would think of. Sacks, Brandon Scherff was the only one to not allow a sack the entire year among starting offensive linemen. Most sacks was Nate Solder with 19. His teammate Mike Remmers was tied for 2nd with 17. So chances are Eli Manning / Daniel Jones did not have a fun time running for their lives in the pocket. Levante David led in tackles with 133. Solo tackles also went to Levante David with 122 as he gets that one by a mile. I think the next closest was 109 by Miles Jack. Tackles for a loss, 27 for Ndamukong Suh, easily beating out everyone else. Myles Garrett in 2nd with 19, but Ndamukong Suh making it not even close. Aaron Donald, 18.5 sacks, 17 for Clowney, 15.5 for Garrett and Von Miller. Ndamukong Suh, I think, had 12 or something. And then most interceptions, Xavier Rhodes with 7, Dante Jackson 6, Carlton Davis and Tre'Davious White with 5. So those are the league leaders for INTs. Jelani Tavai with 3. Okay. Fumble force is 3 for Harrison Smith, Alec Ogletree, and Bradley Chubb. 2 for a number of other players. And then fumble recoveries, the most was 2 by Harrison Smith, Bradley Chubb, Avery Williamson, who just got hurt in real life, so I hope he gets better, and Ronnie Harrison. So on to block kicks. 1 for Juan Thornhill, the rookie out of Virginia. A few other guys in there as well. And then a number of players with a defensive touchdown. That's safeties. Defensive touchdowns is right there. No one has more than 1 for either safeties or touchdowns. So, on to the awards. The MVP is going to be Tom Brady. Did I say Andrew Luck was the MVP? My bad. Luck finished in second. Brady won the award. Coach of the Year goes to Anthony Lynn. Matt Patricia in second. AFC Offensive Player of the Year is Tom Brady. Obviously, in real life, the Offensive and Defensive Player of the Years aren't done by conference, but it's Madden, so we have to make do. Defensive Player of the Year is Myles Garrett. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Marquise Hollywood Brown. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Devin Bush of the Steelers. No Levi Wallace, thank goodness, because he's not a rookie. Best quarterback is Andrew Luck. Best running back goes to James Conner. Best wide receiver ends up going to Chester Rogers. Does anyone think Chester Rogers is going to have a better season than AB or DeAndre Hopkins? I don't think so. Marshall Yanda wins Best Offensive Lineman. Best Defensive Lineman goes to Myles Garrett. His teammate Olivier Vernon in second. For rookie Jerry Tillery in ninth. Jadeveon Clowney wins Best Linebacker. Best Defensive Back goes to Tre'Davious White, third-year man out of LSU. And then the best kicker, of course, goes to Justin Tucker. So now on to the NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Ezekiel Elliott. Not much of a surprise after seeing his numbers. And Ndamukong Suh, Defensive Player of the Year. That's interesting. Kyler Murray, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Jelani Tavai. Okay. Can't say I see that one coming. Best quarterback goes to Matt Ryan of the Falcons. Eli and Jameson there. Best running back goes to Zeke. Kerryon in third. Best wide receiver goes to Golden Tate. I don't see Julio Jones in there. David Bakhtiari, best offensive lineman. At least that one makes sense. Best defensive lineman goes to Ndamukong Suh. Not much of a surprise there. He won Defensive Player of the Year. This linebacker goes to the $55 million man, Quan Alexander. Don't know how much the Niners actually paid him. Xavier Rhodes, best defensive back. And then the best kicker is Jason Myers of the Seattle Seahawks. So, on to the playoffs. Round 1, we have Raiders and Jets. Rams and Lions. I can tell you right now we're not going to win that one. Chiefs and Patriots. And then Falcons and Redskins. So, after simulating the Colts dominate the Raiders, the Lions don't win a playoff game. Our streak of non-playoff wins continues. Patriots dominate, and then the Falcons also beat whoever they played. So in round 2, Pats Ravens, Rams Saints, rematch of the NFC Championship, Colts Chargers, and Falcons Seahawks, and then the Patriots Saints, Chargers, and Seahawks win. Saints get revenge on the Rams, and the Seahawks are probably the only big surprise making the conference championship, I'd say. In the AFC Championship, we have the Patriots and the Chargers, and then in the NFC Championship, we have the Saints and the Seahawks. So, first, we have to look at Pro Bowl before we see the Super Bowl. There's Matthew Stafford. I didn't even see him in the best quarterback running, yet he makes the Pro Bowl. Okay. Marvin Jones, Kerryon Johnson. So the Lions have a bunch. Madden's quite high on the Lions this year. That is cool. But I'm going to stop being biased and notice any standout surprises. Ed Oliver, the rookie for the Buffalo Bills. Carlton Davis made it for the Bucks. Tedrick Thompson of the Seahawks. That's a little bit surprising. So, those are your Pro Bowlers. And now on to the Super Bowl. The Chargers beat the Patriots. Saints beat the Seahawks. Both teams win by the exact score, 34-24. So, the Super Bowl is the Saints versus the Chargers. In my NFL predictions video, I have the Super Bowl being the Saints and the Chargers. So, Matt and I agree with each other. And even more freakier, we both had the Saints winning. So, we all give Madden slack. Madden simulation slack, I should say. But it agrees with me with the Super Bowl. So that means I'm going to get that prediction dead wrong. It's not going to be the Saints and the Chargers. That means, looking at the player stats, there is no quarterback for the Saints. That means Drew Brees retired. Phillip Rivers throws 4 interceptions. Alvin Kamara, 81 yards. Melvin Gordon, only 56. I guess they have Melvin Gordon re-signing. Keenan Allen with 2 receiving touchdowns. Plenty of receiving scores for the Saints. Blocking-wise, 3 sacks allowed by Ryan Ramczyk. I guess Bosa had a big game. 9 tackles for Casey Hayward and Von Bell. 2 tackles for a loss for Trey Hendrickson, Cam Jordan, and David Onyemata. Sacks, 3 for Joey Bosa, 1 for Melvin Ingram. Saints had none, and they still won the game. And then interceptions for Von Bell, Marcus Williams, Demario Davis, and Marshawn Lattimore. So I looked at the weekly stats, and it does show Drew Brees. He throws 6 passing touchdowns in his final NFL game, which is crazy. So that's going to end the video. Tell me what you think of the video. Let me know in the comments section below. Do you think this will happen? I would not mind seeing the Lions win the division. And as always, have a good one. Peace out.